Hey guys, my name is Elena, and it has taken me so long to figure out what it is that I want to bring to you and present to you. I know that I have had this calling on my life for so long. I have heard the voice of God tell me to share my story, share my story. All ever since my divorce, through my relationship, I have always heard people tell me to share my story. But this week, the voice of God has been pushing me to share my story. I have tried many videos, I have posted many videos, but none of them felt authentic. None of them felt as if I was giving you my true self. So I'm going to first start by introducing myself. This is my first authentic video. When I say authentic video, this is my true, my first authentic video sharing my story. That God, through the story that of pain, a story of adversity, but ending with me coming out on top. And I'm going to tell you how I got to this point where I felt I was worthy enough, and this story was worthy enough for me to share with not just some people, but with the world, in hopes of saving and helping so many women and or men who may be experiencing some of the things that I've been through. Well, today, while I was getting ready for work, I'm a nurse and I do private care. And all day I have been praying, what is my purpose? All year I have been praying, trying to figure out my purpose. And I've constantly heard God say, share your story. Well, today a few videos, and I always ask for a sign, clear signs. And I still feel like I've had some confusion, but all day I have been seeing videos from YouTube pop up on my notifications of it is time to share your story. This started last Friday. Those videos kept popping up. I just ignored them as if, oh, it's just my mind playing tricks on me. However, today was the last straw, and I feel what God was telling me, that I can do things in your life that you didn't expect to happen. I have become so comfortable with working and making a good living as a nurse that I didn't feel it was necessary to be obedient in the area of sharing my story. I have been obedient to the Lord's words for so long. With so many things lately. But when it came to sharing my story, I felt more of an embarrassment to share my story. So I'm going to start by telling you that I am a single mother of 3. I have been divorced now for 10 years. I was married to someone for almost 17 years. And the marriage was not always bad, but towards the end of my marriage was nothing but hell. And when I say hell, it was pure hell. And so I'll start back when I was 16 or 15. I met some guy. He was from Africa. And we started dating. He was a little bit older than me. He wasn't too much older than me. We started dating, and I ended up getting pregnant at 16. I became a mother at 17, and then we got married at 18. We went through life just being teenage parents, teenage lovers. And through that whole time, I ended up losing myself and who I was and what it is that I wanted to do. I ended up giving birth to my son at 17. Like I said, I got married. And I remember one time I went on a college tour, and I applied for Alabama and A&M. And when I went there, I applied, I was accepted. I told him, my ex-husband, and I told my mother that I wanted to go ahead and go to school to pursue my law career, because I had a full ride scholarship before I dropped out of high school. He was totally against it. I gave up those hopes and dreams of becoming a lawyer. I gave up the hopes and dreams of going to a HBCU. And from that point on, I really felt that I had more resentment for him because I helped him in pursuing his dreams, or I allowed him to pursue his dreams. But when it was time for me to pursue mine, he didn't have the same support for me. So as time went on, as we got a little bit older, I seen signs of abuse, but I felt was abusive or toxic, which most people say. I thought it was just normal because we were young parents. We were young adults trying to find our way in a world of marriage, in a world of parenting. So I just thought it was normal. the whole arguing, the breakup, the on and off again became a normal life for me. I soon became pregnant with my second child, which he did not want. And I was basically forced into terminating that pregnancy. That haunted me for many years. And then with that, more resentment grew. Time went on, we stayed together. And then I had my third child with him. With my third child, it was something that we both agreed that we wanted, and we had our daughter. So at that time, we had one son and one daughter. In the midst of this all, our son had gotten hit by a car and suffered a traumatic brain injury. And I didn't know how to deal with stressors in life. I was a child, you know, so I went through life just life was just moving, but I felt like I was just stuck. I was stuck in a situation and I didn't know which way to go. Life continued on. We raised our children. We moved from here. We moved from there. I didn't do much with myself. I just became a CNA, and I'm not saying it's not much, but I became a CNA. But I didn't go after the dreams I wanted to because I allowed someone else's dreams to be placed on me. Time went on. He became, not only was he abusive mentally, but he became abusive verbally. And as well as verbally, he also was an extreme cheater. Now, mind you, I was young, and with me being a teenage mother, most of my friends, they walked away from me, and so I didn't want to become a statistic. So I stayed in my marriage just to prove that even with me being me being a teenage mother, I was able to hold my marriage together. And I honestly feel it was one of the biggest mistakes, but it was honestly something that God had me go through so that I can share my story. So time went on, and we were raising our child. We were on and off again. I was living. I moved out. We broke up, and we decided that it was over for roughly a year and a half or 2 years. In that whole instance, I think what made me walk away was I found out this young lady that he was dealing with, she was supposed to have been pregnant by him. And that was like the third possible pregnancy, but this time this lady carried through with the baby. Me and her had a few like falling outs in that process, and she came and destroyed my car. You know, I was dealing with a lot. By this time, I'm only 21. So from 15 to 21, I have dealt with massive amounts of drama and traumas. But through it all, we both gained a lot of resentment towards each other. But we chose to stay together because we felt like our love was stronger. In this process, he gained custody of the child for reasons I won't say, but whatever the case may be, he didn't know what to do with the child. By this time, I think I'm maybe in my mid-20s, maybe 24. He gains custody of the child, but ultimately I'm raising the child. He leaves, he goes and he's with his girlfriends, and I'm raising the child from his previous girlfriend. And, you know, that was one of my biggest, it wasn't a challenge, but that's when I knew that God had his hands on me, and that I was not special, but special, and that God was going to use me at some point in life to share my story. So I'm going to start telling this story in pieces because it's so much. I have went back and forth with telling the story, and I always feel like I wouldn't know how to relay the story to people in a manner that it would be perfect. But I don't feel like I have to be perfect, but I do feel like I need to be transparent so that I can help other women or other men who are going through such things in life. So if you like the story so far, please like, click, and subscribe to this channel so that I can continue to share my story. with hopes of telling you how I went from wandering wandering life without God, to worshiping God and coming to a place of wholeness and fulfillment. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you all tune in to continue to watch. Thank you. Bye.